All right, if you can hear me and see me, please comment. I can see you and I can hear you. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. If you can hear me and you can see me, please comment. I can see you. And I can hear you. Can you all hear me? If you can see and hear me, please comment. I can see you. And all right, okay, Andre says he can hear me and he can see me. All right, Veronica, you can see and hear me, Queen. Okay, okay, okay. All right, awesome. So we'll get started. But just before we get started, I would like to set your expectations very right, okay? This will be my very first time of live streaming apart from holding webinars, so I'd like to be forthwith with you. Don't expect professionalism. All right, don't focus on me in reality, just focus on Mazi, Emeka Nobis. He has the source, not me. All right, now that that's out of the way, I'd like to bring him to our virtual stage. All right. Okay, so okay, here's Emeka Nobis, but just before he gets to introduce himself, I'd like to run us down why we're doing this and what led to the creation of the Ehis Nath Live. Back in 2014, when I was going to start my web consulting business, everyone felt bad for me, felt terrible for me because they felt I was making a wrong choice. They were right. Because none of them had seen someone who went into web designing, consulting, and development who became really successful. So everyone felt I should get a job. You're an engineer, get a job and not do these things. And to make things worse, there were a lot of stickers and banners out there saying get a website, a professional website for 10,000 naira or 15,000 naira. So what I often got was, hey, are you going to stick with a career where you can only generate about 10 to 20,000 naira a month? But deep inside, I knew that was what I wanted to do. So I looked around. There was just one guy I knew that was making lots of money. The guy's name is Nkem Ifyok. Some of you might know him. Now, I had not made sources. There was nothing I could show to anyone, but I had to connect with someone who had sources. So my hope was tied to the fact that this guy had done it in his field, in the same field that I'm going into. So if someone could really do it, I could do it also. And within a space of 2 years, everyone who thought I was wrong came around saying, you were really wise. That was about the time companies were downsizing in 2016, and everybody felt I was right. Now, if there was no one like Nkem Ifyok for me to hang on to, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. So Ehis Nath Live is put together to bring forth people who have made tremendous success in their area of expertise, in their field of play or endeavors, like Emeka Nobis, to tell us how they went from the days of little beginnings to making the level, or attaining the level of success and fame like they have right now. So please join me, welcome to the stage, a person I respect so very well, Mr. Emeka Nobis, the Don.
Thank you, Ehis. I'm glad. I'm glad that we are having this conversation. I hope that you can hear me clearly.
Yeah, I can.
Oh, fantastic! So, thank you for inviting me to this conversation, and I look forward to bearing my thoughts as sincerely and as honestly as I can. Thank you and welcome. I can't see comments, but I do hope that a lot of
Okay.
individuals who are joining us will benefit a whole lot from what we are sharing today. Thank you so much, Ehis.
You're most welcome. All right, so I'll just send you a link to the YouTube stream because we're using custom RMTP, so we can't see conversations going on from our own end. I'll send that to you on Facebook right now, and then we'll get
Okay.
right to it.
Or if they're asking questions, you can read out the questions and then I can answer them.
Sure, absolutely. We're definitely going to take questions at the end of the section. All right. Many people like myself into Nobis, you don't need introduction, right? But amongst us are people who are eager to hear from you today that most likely have not connected with your brand before now. So I'd like you to do us a pleasure of meeting you formally.
Okay, so my name is Emeka Nobis. Basically, I like to call myself, I say that my primary gifts are speaking and writing. And I studied mechanical engineering from the Federal University of Technology, Owerri. I only have a bachelor's degree. I don't have any other extra degree up until now. And I worked in an oil servicing company for 10 years between 2006 to 2016. And then I resigned to properly focus on what it is that I'm building right now for myself and for the future. So it's basically every day of waking up in the morning, creating content, connecting with people, having consulting sessions, having chats, as the case may be, and then generally solving people's problems. It was in 2020.
Amazing.
It was in 2020 that I now decided to have a company, a registered company that can embody the things in my head or the things in my thoughts. So I started out Switch Path Consulting, and I'm building it as a company that I don't want to be. I mean, I'm building as a company that everything doesn't have to revolve about around the Emeka Nobis, but it exists as its own brand, while Emeka Nobis exists as a personal brand. So that's how I've been building all this while. I've written more than 15 books. I think I need to count the number of books I've written so far because people ask me how many books. I'm like 15, 16. I can't really, but I think I have to count to know exactly how many books I've written so far, both e-books and printed books. This year, I'm looking forward to writing 5 books to launch on my 40th birthday on the 1st of July. 5 printed books, actually, to launch them on my birthday on the 1st of July when I'll turn 43. So basically, that is it. Maybe my marital status: I'm married, got 3 kids.
Okay,
Yep.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Now I feel really threatened. We're just getting started and I feel threatened already. 15 books and I've not written any. All right, so why did you decide to transition from your job to writing books?
Okay. The truth is that when I got that job in 2006, the company sent me abroad to go and train. You know how foreign companies will employ you, and not to act condescendingly, but definitely even after university, you need more skills. And so they sent me
Mm-hmm.
out to go and to learn basically how to work in teams and how to control teams, and to because the plan at the time was to build me into a manager, and they had the plan of making me the first indigenous construction manager in the company, which never
Wow.
happened because I left. And so by the time I was done with the training, I came back to Nigeria. That was even where the thoughts began to form in my head, because at some point I began to ask myself, I mean, when you've gotten a job, you wake up in the morning, go to work, come back in the evening, probably drink or
Yeah.
watch TV or do some other things, you sleep the next day, and then your salary comes in regularly every last Friday of the month. You're just happy, living, coasting. You know,
Uh-huh.
when you work in an oil servicing company, there's nothing like delay in payments. Not all though, but the one that I worked in, you know, there's no delay in payment and salaries, so you're always there, and all, and you're always just cruising and coasting. You get, you know, normally, and so and so those thoughts began to come like, Emeka, is this what you want to do for the rest of your life? This is what you want to do for the rest of your life, and all that stuff, you know. And so I just began to think. I just began to think, what else can I do in my life? And those thoughts that they come in. You've got hands to write,
Yeah.
and you've got a voice to speak. So, I mean, use them to be a blessing to humanity. That was the voice I heard at one time when I began to ask myself the question: why is it that this? Why am I having these promptings in my spirit? You know. And so, and I began to write. I began to write on social media. While I was working in the company, I had what I call the vision, the motivation board. So I had this board that I put in my office, not in the office, in the workshop where I was controlling teams. So every day I write something for them, something that has to do with their lives, with personal dedication, with commitment, you know, with work-life balance, so to say, with their families, different things I began to share with them. And many of them were enjoying what I was posting. And then I even went further to collect the emails of my fellow colleagues at work. And I began to send them emails. I used to send them emails on Mondays, on Wednesdays, and on Fridays. Different diverse topics, you know, things I found on the internet, things that my head could cook
Amazing.
up, that I kept on sending them. And many of them will read. I remember one particular series that birthed this book. There was a particular series that birthed this book that I have here. You know, got a top boss, buying me banana. This particular book. I realized that for many of them, what kept many of us at work beyond being so good, being skillful, was the relationship we had with our bosses.
Yeah.
You know, so I found out that so many of them were having, you know, not too good relationships with their bosses, and because I had experience of, you know, working so beautifully with many of my bosses back then. I decided to share with them my experiences, what I was, you know, what I was doing to help them also with their own. And then I remember I titled that particular email series. I titled it "Damn You, Boss, I Quit." That was what I titled it. So whenever it's dropping as an email, you know, when you're on your lap, when you're on your system, and then an
Yeah.
email drops and pops, you know, some of them it will do ping, some of them it will just appear on the screen, you know, that kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
So one of my friends had gone on holiday, and it was an Indian man that was on his system, using his system that particular day, and the email dropped. Damn you, boss! I quit. I was doing it. Damn you,
Oh.
boss! I quit part one. Damn you, boss! I quit part two. Damn you, boss! I quit part three. So the Indian man opened the email and read it. I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then he called my friend, that young guy. I said, man, there was an email that somebody sent you now, and I read the email. That email made sense. And I saw that they sparked something. Can I read the other ones on your email system? Because, you know, because the guy wasn't around, so we
Yeah.
had to
You
now
need
give him
permission.
permission. So, I mean, the Indian man read all the series and was very amazed about the kind of information I was sharing that could help um, people at work. You know, so it was beautiful at the time. And then because of my writings on my Facebook timeline, people began to invite me to speak at events. You know, and the demand on my time started increasing. That was what happened. And because I'm the kind of guy that I believe in a company that is paying me, I needed to give them my time. So
Absolutely.
time was now being split in between company time and my own personal strives, you know, and I didn't like it. So it became burdensome. I began to think I didn't feel happy about it. So I said, okay, I think the best thing will now be to resign so that you can be free as the heir to do whatever you wanted, you know, be a blessing to humanity without obstructions. And so I gave myself time to resign. So I said in 2010 that I was going to resign in 2015. But eventually I didn't resign in 2015. I resigned in 2016. So, and ever since then, I've been building, getting better, increasing. You get, I mean, sometimes it's fun. Like today now, because of the kind of influence I've built on social media, I charge 30,000 naira to write one Facebook post. and post it on my
Amazing.
timeline.
I mean,
Yeah.
oh, your prices have increased. The last time I wrote to you to publish for us, I think it was 20K.
Yeah, I was 20.
Okay.
I'm even
Yeah.
thinking to increase it more, sir, because one woman came and said that Facebook influencers are cheap. That on Instagram they are charging 100K, 200K, you know, that kind of thing. But then
Oh, they want to square
my
business
focus
for
is
us.
my focus is the fact that when I write about people, they get results. You know,
Results.
like yesterday, I wrote about an app yesterday, and they had 1,950 downloads in a period of 1
Yeah.
hour. The
I
guys were
downloaded
among
that
the
this morning.
Oh, the OWA app, yes. So in their team, their development team, they're like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? I know that there are other people who can do better than me, obviously, but so far the individuals that I've written about them have not really gotten them that kind of traffic, you know. So, but you know, it's beautiful. So that's to show you that, you know, I'm increasing. Today I've got 2 payments, you know, and I'm like, just to write on Facebook something that is fun. Like before coming on this live stream now, I have put up a post, and boom, that's just 30K. I mean, imagine something that doesn't take you
So,
2 3
so would you
minutes to
say
write.
authoring isn't
Yeah.
just about writing a book?
No, it's not
Being
just
an
about writing
author
a
doesn't,
book.
in today's world, doesn't just mean being a publisher of a book. It can cut across being a social media publisher and on any other
Yes,
platform.
yes, yes. There are many things that can. I mean, do you know by virtue of you see that you're authoring a book means that you have a message to share, isn't it?
Okay.
If you consistently share your message on social media, right, people begin to see you as an expert. So what will happen is that it's going to translate to other things. They will invite you to speak. They will invite you
Okay.
to live stream, just like we are doing live stream right now.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, last year I tried out something. You know, I said to people that okay, I can host you on my live stream, and I have 82,000 followers. I said, at that time I was around 70 something thousand, and I said if I host you on my live stream, people will see you. People can pay attention to you. People can buy from you. 100,000. I got like 3 different individuals to pay 100,000. I'm like,
I didn't
what?
see that. Wow.
I'm
I
like,
should have tapped
what?
into that.
You know, that was December period. I'm like, what? This is making sense, and it was fun. I mean, I'm hosting you. I'm just there. I'm asking you questions, and I'm just
That's
when you
something
start
you could ordinarily do without charging people for it.
pause. And so when you start answering your questions, I would just go behind the screen and I would allow you just be there. I could be even drinking or talking to my wife or playing my kids. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like,
Yeah, I
well,
get it.
the internet is really a beautiful. So it's not just about books alone. As long
Okay.
as you have a message to
So,
share, you know, publishing,
yeah.
people will start to invite you, pay you to speak at conferences, at events, and other things will just be popping up
So
from there.
authoring, you would say it begins with the message you want to
Yes,
share with the world from your heart.
exactly. For example, a woman came to my office today with a husband, and she said to me, "How Emeka?" She paid to have a session with me, so she came. She said, "I have this book that I want to write." I said, "Okay, what is it? Tell me about it." She said that she has had successes with domestic staff because before she employs any domestic staff, she has her rules and her guidelines. That domestic staff will sit down and she will read out those guidelines, and if she's not comfortable with those rules, the person can leave. Do you know one of the rules she said? Because she doesn't have the living house help. She said that one of the rules is the fact that if you're working for her, you come from your home, you are coming to work. The house helps do not sit on her sofa. I'm like, yeah. She said, you're not coming to watch TV. You're coming to do work in my house, clean the house, set things, and before 7 p.m. you are gone. Like, okay. She said she wants to write a book on how people can, you know, employ house helps and have she said that her house helps have usually stay 2. She said the first one stayed 2 years, the other one stayed 3 years. She has just 2 kids now. One is 4, the other one is 2. So the first house help stayed 2 years, the other one stayed 3 years. So she has guidelines. I'm like, do you know how many people who have these issues? Even me, I have the issue of house help. I thought some of them will come 2 weeks, they are gone. Some of them will come 1 week, they are gone. And you're wondering, what did you
I
do
can
wrong?
relate.
You get what I mean? You know,
Yeah.
you pay medical bills to have them tested. Maybe the last one I just did the other day now was 20K. So if that one comes down, stays 1 week and goes, and so my 20K just go like
Don't
that. You get
go.
what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't go and tell them, please put back the blood back into the girl and give me back my money. You can't say something like that. And so I told her, go ahead and
Right.
write.
So
Because
from your story
many
so
women
far,
will do that. Yeah.
okay. So it's about having a message to share with the world. So one of the burning
Exactly.
questions I've heard people ask is, do I have to be a gifted writer to commit to writing? A lot of people want to write books. A lot of people want to show up on social media, but they are scared. They are not so good at writing. They feel they don't have this innate skill, the ability to write and communicate their ideas, and so they feel less than enough to be taken seriously out there. So for someone who isn't a gifted writer, how would you encourage the person to get started if they truly do have a message to share with the world?
You see, a lot of people, why they feel that way is because they are thinking of the masters. What I mean by the masters, let me mention the names. People like Shoyinka,
Mm-hmm.
people like Chimamanda. You just want to be like them. But I tell them no. If you keep making those comparisons, you will not showcase your star. And I tell them, the moment you're able to, maybe you went to school, they said yes. Maybe you wrote your exam by yourself, they said yes. Not the exam you wrote it in words, not so. Did you draw? He said no. But you wrote in such a way that you passed because your lecturer was able to read what you wrote, and what you wrote was logical, what you wrote was sequential, what you wrote was rational, what you wrote was readable. Your
Awesome.
ability to be able to do these things, to write something that is readable, logical, sequential, and meaningful is all that you need to write. That's all. That's all you need. So
Wow.
you don't need to be as colorful, using creative powers or creative elements to be able to make somebody to moan when you're reading, when the person is reading. You know, there are some individuals who read their works. You can even moan. You experience different emotions. Well, you
Like
can
you
get to
used to
that level.
write on Facebook in
Yes,
those days.
you can get to that level by mastery, by practice. But you can start out from the point where you can write something that is legible, something that is meaningful, something that is rational, something that is logical, and something that is sequential, so that somebody can follow your train of thoughts from the beginning
Yeah.
to the end. The moment you can be able to do that, you are qualified to write a book, not to write. That's it.
Great, great. I once read from someone who said the only way to become a great writer is to commit to write, is to begin writing.
Yes.
The first piece may look stupid, the second piece may look disorganized, but as you commit to writing, you get better at it. Does that really work?
Yes. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with other things, it's the same thing like sports or other things that we do. The more you sing, the more you can get better as a singer. For check people like Tiger Woods, practice. He practice. For him to be able to swing well, he practices consistently. Look at the footballers. Yesterday I watched Tottenham versus what was this club again? Uh, ah, well, Tottenham versus one club. I'm
Okay,
trying
I
to
don't
remember.
watch football, so I can help.
Okay, yeah. So I watched Tottenham versus one football club. I'm trying to remember the name, but anyway.
Okay.
And when Hurricane scored the only goal of the game. When that match ended and the football pundits were assessing the game, somebody said something about Hurricane. He said that Hurricane has been practicing that particular thing during trainings. And you know what he said? He said even when the players go home, Hurricane will arrange. There's a way he arranges. And he said they arrange plastic or tires or something like that, and those people will look like players, and then he will practice that very, very short. Because when I saw the way he collected the ball, he backed the defender, turned around, and then shot. The moment he did that, the goalkeeper was already off track and the ball went straight into the net. So the man
Wow.
said, one of the pundits said that that's how Hurricane has been practicing doing training sessions, even when other players have gone home. He will just arrange that thing and then start practicing. So that was exactly what he replicated during the match. So if he was not practicing, it wouldn't have been a good finishing. So it's the same thing with sports. It's the same thing with those who do body weight. For example,
Okay.
you can't go into the gym today and then you expect to have 6 packs overnight. It doesn't work. by consistent
Absolutely.
going to the gym, pushing and pushing, lifting weights. Before you know it, 1 pack will come out, 2 packs will come out, 3 packs will come out, and that's how it gets to 6 packs, right?
I think
So
I
that's
need
how it
that now.
that's how it gets. That's how it gets to writing. So the more you do it, the more you write, the more you study, and the more you keep writing. Like I read some of the things I write today, my stories. I'm like, what, Emeka, you're really doing good. Because look at it, many years ago, I wasn't like that. So I read poetry, fiction, non-fiction, autobiography, biographies, a lot. And I keep practicing. And that's how I
That
get
brings me to
better.
a point that's been ringing in my head. I'm glad you just said so. Most people want to become published author, accomplished authors, but not so many want to read the work of other people who are accomplished. Now you just said you've gotten better by reading other people's works. So you would
Yeah.
suggest to someone who aspires to become an author to read works done by other people, not necessarily in the same genre with them, but get exposure to as much published work as they can, right?
Yes. So reading other authors can expose you to how other authors, their minds work. Right? Like I have a friend of mine, the girl is amazing. This girl can look at cockroach on the wall and write certain. I mean, yesterday she wrote something. She said she walked into her kitchen and she saw one cute brown cockroach, but she doesn't know why life can be very. There's a way she did it. She doesn't know why life can be very, very bad or something. And now, so the end of the thing was that she killed the cockroach. Do you get? Doesn't know how life could be so sad. Now she's
Yeah, that's
saying
so cruel.
rest in peace. She there's a way she looks at life. There's a way I mean, the other day she woke up and she opened her window and she began to describe about guys who were, guys before they fight, they'll start to exchange words and all that. And the way she captured it was so, so beautiful. And I've told her I don't have the same gift that you have, but when I read your works, they help me to think. So now when I see cockroach now, my mind would not be saying, okay, what can I write about this cockroach now that is on the wall? Something like that. So you've got to be able to see different writers that I read, the powers of imagination. I see how they use words creatively. I see how they do write their stories and all that. And it's amazing. So when I read all those things, I see how I can bring them also into my own written pieces. And I opened my book to 2012, many years ago. It's here on my table. An old book. You can
Okay.
see how old it is, very dirty.
Yeah.
And I opened it and I saw on one of the pages where I was writing expressions that I read in another book. Expressions. So I'll be reading a book and then I'll see some expressions in the book. I can't find it now. I read some expressions in the book and I'll come and write it in this book. It could be a sentence, it could be a phrase or something. I write it in this book. Many other I've written. This was a far back at 2020, 2012. So when I
Wow.
looked at those expressions, I was like, wow. So what I do basically is that when I'm now writing, I'll now go and take those expressions and I'll find a way to infuse it into my own written pieces. And somebody will read it and say, wow, it's a Emeka Nobis. Wow, wow. But then it was something I read from somewhere, that I infused into my own pieces. So I don't know how people can become good authors without even reading about other people's books. I don't know how to do that basically, you know. But that's what it is. If you want to get better, if you want to be good, I think it's always good to read the books of other people.
That's amazing. Really, really amazing. So if you're watching right now and you're getting value, you caught value from what Emeka Nobis just said, please drop a comment in the comment section and I'll make sure to read it when we're done with this stream. Okay, so in your opinion, you've been an author for a whole lot of years right now, and what would you say makes a great book? I mean, a book that appeals to its target audience. Would it be intrinsic value or a perceptive value? What would you say really makes for a great
Well,
book?
well, the thing is, this: people receive things differently. For example, this movie that is going on now, Shantytown. A lot of individuals are stating. Some of them are stating disgust. Some of them are saying, "Oh, this movie was bam" and all that. It's just different. Like there was the one before this one, far from home or something like that. You know, people said, "Man, this is the best movie ever. These are so sweet." And I went and downloaded the series. I was struggling. I struggled to watch the first episode. Struggled to watch. By the time I got to the third episode, I said, "I don't do it again," because I was not enjoying the movie. So I deleted everything from my Netflix. The same thing with King of Boys. We were like, King of Boys, now sweet die. I went and watched this King of Boys, but it was too drab for me. So the thing is this. I think it also boils down to our perceptive abilities or how we our world views and how we appreciate art. Somebody may look at art now like, we think this person they draw, so it no make sense. Another person will come and say, "Oh, this is very marvelous, very very majestic," you know. So but then, for every great book has to have a good message, has to have good wordings, has to have devoid, it has to be devoid of grammatical errors that will mess up your reading
Yeah.
fluency, your reading flow. Sorry. So I think
Okay.
basically these are the elements, but the message of the book will resonate with people differently. Like for example, I find it so hard to read Wole Soyinka's books. You know, the first time I tried to read The Interpreters, I couldn't finish The Interpreters by Wole Soyinka, and I dumped it till today. You know,
Wow.
so I mean, does it mean that Wole Soyinka is not great? He's absolutely a very fantastic, great author, but I didn't connect with the book, just the way it is. Is it a great book? Yes, it is. But was it a great book to me? No. So that's what it is.
All right. So if you walked into a bookshop right now, or you were scrolling through your timeline on Facebook with a limited amount of time to while away on Facebook, and you saw a book, what if you had 3 minutes, less than a minute to decide whether or not to buy the book? What will be the hook for you? Because people who are listening to us right now, some of them want to become authors. If they know what could hook you, what could hook me, and what could hook the next person, they might just be able to put together a book that is sellable.
So usually, I tell people two things basically. For a book that is sitting on the shelf and people are making, you know, in marketing they say people make up their minds in less than 2 minutes or 3 minutes. I can't remember exactly now.
Okay.
So if a book is sitting on the shelf, two things that will attract people: number one, the design; number two, the title of the book. One, design; second, the title of the book. I remember how I took a book when I was in Lagos many years ago. I bought a book titled "If You Can't Buy It, Steal It." That's the title of the book. If you can't buy it, steal it. So I took that book. The design was just someone's hand like this, you know, like a hand that was about to bang. Didn't
Yeah,
really make so
agree.
much sense. But the title, "If you cannot buy it, steal it." So I took it to church. I took it to Daystar in Lagos, man, and I deliberately kept the book on top of the seat. You needed to see the commotion. People were looking at the book, and then I'll be riding in a bus. Then I used to ride in a bus in Lagos, and I'll be reading it, and then I'll open the back of the book so wide, so people will be reading, seeing the title on the book. I mean, that book made so much ruckus the time that I was moving around with the book. It's still in my house. It's still in my house on my shelf. But they created a lot of ruckus. Many people to pay attention to want to say, "What's this guy? What's this book talking about?" Even in church themselves, some individuals, you know, how they will look at you like as if you're the devil in their midst. So they will look at the title of the book, and you find somebody looking at you like this, you know, that kind of thing, without even hiding.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is one carry come church now, telling us if you can't buy and steal it, you know. But I
Yeah.
loved the kind of attention that the book was getting. So I'm
So it
telling
was the
people,
title that
attention.
was the hook.
Yes, the title was the hook. So
Okay.
attention, as they say, is the currency of our time. So the ability to get people to pay attention to what it is that you are offering will likely increase the chances of them making a decision to buy from you. So don't mess up with your title, don't mess up with your design. Some individuals could be designed. For example, there was a book that was written by Jaime DBA. I think that was 1 year or 2 years ago. The title of the book was "I for Don't Blow, but I took the press phone." I
Okay.
for Don't
I
Blow.
saw that book. Yeah.
uh People took it. Do you know why that book went viral? Because it was at a time when parents who didn't understand how you could be on your smartphone and you are making money with your smartphone.
Yeah.
So they will tell you, go and look for a normal job, but not understanding that this smartphone that we have is a very powerful tool to make money.
Mm-hmm.
So many individuals who are coming out from school at that time, and their parents were like, go and get a job, go and get a job. And then they saw that book, I don't blow, but actually they pressed phone. So it was something that connected with a lot of people, you know, blowing the word blow and the word to the pressed phone. So people connect, and people were sharing the book by themselves. People shared
I say a lot of it, a whole lot.
I mean, people put it deliberately on their what's it called, on their DP status. People put it on inside Facebook. People are posting, and that was how.
So you really do have amazing titles too, man. Like your book will sell, Bank a Lot, Give Your Boss a Banana, so many of them. How do you come up with these titles? Some of them, when I see them, I laugh for a moment, and the title actually calls my attention to read what you've written, the summary you've written on Facebook, and then lead me on to say, but how do you come up with these titles? People struggle with naming. Do you come up with the titles before you write or after you write? Some people never really write because they want to get the very perfect title. Why some finish writing, they still cannot come up with the title? How do you do yours?
So I don't come up. Okay, the first foundation is that I know that I'm not a big name. I mean, I tell myself that despite the fact that people say, Emeka,
even though you are,
I just accept and I say to myself, guy, you're not a big name.
You know why I said that?
You know why I said that? Because I go to certain places and I find out that people there don't even know who I am. Do you get what I mean? Like, there are places that I walk into and I'm there for like minutes and nobody has even recognized that Emeka Nobis. I'm like, okay. Then there's some places I go to. As I walk enter like this and boom, everybody.
They don't show.
So that should tell you also that despite how popular you can be, there are people who still don't know you. So it's the foundation of my thinking to say, Emeka, people don't need to know you to buy your book. So you need to do that thing that will make them to pay attention to this title or to this design and make their decisions. So I tell myself my titles must be the ones that will stir curiosity, that will make people to pay attention, that will be sometimes word, that will be not just a normal, not just a normal, that will make people to want to like, okay, what's he even talking about? Madmen speak revelations, abandon.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know, got a top boss, buy him a banana. You know, that kind of
stuff. I remember a commenter on one of your posts that said, you're a madman, how can you give a book such a title?
So I just want to make my titles to stir curiosity in the minds of people. Basically, that's for me. And so for me to get the titles, sometimes I don't get titles at the beginning. Sometimes it could be at the middle. I just know that I'm going to write this, and I go ahead to writing it. Like, for example, when I wrote Your Book Will Sell, I'll give you a particular example. Your Book Will Sell was not the original title I came up with. The original title I came up with was 8-Figure Author. And so I began to ask myself, 8 figures sharp. Is it even in Chinese yuan or is it in British pounds? I mean, figures have been 8-figure, 7-figure there. They have been all bastardized, you know. So let that be. So now I decided, okay, what else? And I said, okay, book marketing strategies. And I'm like, it sounds too bookish, sounds too like a professor teaching book marketing strategies. People may like, it's too tough a big strategy again, you know. So I let that slide. I'm like, no, this won't pass. So I kept on writing. So one day I was in my house, and there's a church just beside my house, and the pastor was preaching. And then he now started doing prophetic declarations. You will marry this year, amen. You will buy a car even when you don't have the money. You don't have the money, amen. You will do this one, amen, amen. I'm like, man, Nigerians like prophecy. I'm like, Nigerians like prophecy. Okay, what if I go a prophetic way? Your book will sell, amen. Your book will sell, amen. I said, this title makes sense. And so the next day, I put it out on my timeline, and people were loving it. They were like, they even made it personal. People now turned it around and said, my book will sell, my book will sell. You get? And that was when I knew that the title was perfect,
Man.
so to say, for the book. And that was how I slammed the title on the book. And
Okay,
so far, so
so for
good.
you, it's first understanding the message you want to communicate through the book. Title can come anytime, whether at the beginning, midway, or even after writing the book.
Exactly. Even the title of the book, depending on the kind of book you're writing, can even be one of the chapters. Like now, I'm writing a book of fiction, and it's just one of the chapters that I'm using for the title of the book. Your real enemies are not in the village. That's the title of the title. But it's a collection of short stories. But
Okay.
that story, your real enemies are not in the village, is just a story in the book that I will now take and do the. So it's
The
just like when
chapter.
you read Chimamanda's book. If you go and read Chimamanda's book, the thing around your neck, it's a collection of short stories. But then you're looking through the book and you're asking yourself, where is the thing around your neck? Well, just the way it is.
Okay, that's really cool. I often hear people say people don't read anymore, right? People don't read anymore. They don't
So,
read long pieces. People don't have time. People are so busy. Is that really true from your experience?
bro, it's not true. It depends on how you write. If you learn how to seductively hold people, I mean, seduction is an art, right? People who seduce people, if like a woman wants to seduce a man, there are things she does. First and
Yeah.
foremost is her dressing. And then from her dressing, maybe she's removing her top, she remove her top. From removing her top, you now show bra, you now see the mound of breast, all those kind of things. And then from there, she's removing everything. You as a man, you just be like this. You look. You are now spellbound to be looking and looking.
Yeah.
Even if you eventually don't have sex with her, but at least she has held you bound. It's the same thing that you can do with words. Your ability to be able to hold people's attention with words. Do you get people's
Yeah.
attention with words? That is what makes it different. So when people say people don't read, people read though. People read. I can tell you for a fact that people read. But I tell people, what is it that you're writing? That thing you're writing is what is going to make people to read or not. So it's critically important. So people read. People read. It's not as if they do.
Oh, okay, that's really amazing to know because personally, I read virtually every Sunday. I read one book. First Sunday of the year,
Mm.
I crunch chicken and try to finish um, my plan for his travels for the year. That was the 1st of January. And the second Sunday, I think I read a book, 156 pages, and the next Sunday, another 256. So when I hear people say people don't read anymore, and I read, the
Yeah.
people around me read, I wonder what they mean. So if you're an author or an aspiring author listening to this, and you're wondering, will there really be people who would buy my book? There are a lot of people. I could even buy your book. He could buy your book. You heard him say he reads from other authors and get inspirations from them as well. All right, so that leads me to a very interesting question. We talked a little about it earlier, but I'd like us to deep dive into it. Is there a correlation between the quality of books and content that an author consumes and the quality of books and content that the author produces? Like if you read shabby books, you're very likely to create shabby content. If you read really great books and content, you are most likely to produce good content.
Yeah. So I don't know how that works basically, but I know what I know on social media. Basically, there are those who don't write so well, but they are good speakers, and there are some who speak. There are some who speak so badly, but their writings are so amazing. All right.
Mm.
So I don't know how somebody will be able to be creating awful content on social media, and then when it has to do with writing the book, the person now creates an awful book. I don't think there's any. I don't. There's a correlation. It's just like is what they call garbage in, garbage out. Garbage in, garbage
Yeah.
out. So if you are good with your content, I don't think that you're able to write book that is whack. I don't know. I don't know if that's absolutely that mean you publish awful content, except maybe that book you hire the services of a ghostwriter to do all that. But if you are the one to write it by yourself, I don't think that if you are doing awful content, you expect to have an amazing book. Of course, the book is going to be awful too. That's my take on that.
All right, now that you mentioned ghostwriting, what's your take on ghostwriting, PLRs, and the new trend of using AI to create books without human input and just sell?
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Okay, you just mentioned about ghostwriting, so that brings me to a question that's in my head. What do you think about ghostwriting a book versus
Okay.
writing it yourself, and then or taking private label rights, just renaming and rebranding them as yours and selling in the marketplace, and the use of AI tools to create your book? There are a whole lot of them right now, copy.ai, marketing blogs, and so on and so forth. You just plug in your title or your topic, and then boom, a book is generated for you and you put it out there. What do you think make of all of these?
Well, let me start with the AI. The AI is just support. I mean, sometimes I remember using it. This chat GPT.
Okay.
I was a bit that day. I wasn't really in a good frame, so thoughts were not coming forth. So I remember just going to chat GPT and then I wrote something and then it gave. I didn't copy it verbatim. To go and post. So I looked at what ChatGPT created, and each of the points I was like, okay, is there a story that I can use to, surround this? Is there personal stories? And then I found stories, and I utilized the stories to be able to create that piece of content. So if you go and do PLR, and your PLR is just what it is. I mean, PLR is when you buy books and then you slam your own name on it, and then you go and sell. But then it's just basically copy and paste. There's no originality to it.
Yeah.
That's how I look at these things. So even if you're going to use PLR provides just foundational material
Foundation.
that
Okay.
you can just infuse your own perspectives, infuse your own stories, and then you can have your own peculiar content that you can post. For me, basically, so far between now and the times I wrote the other books, I don't think we had anything like AI tools. So, but for my coming books now, AI tools will just provide for me a buffer or support, not necessarily that I will key it in, copy, and then I'll key another one in, copy and paste. I'll keep another one, key another one, copy. At the end of the day, I'll just package everything and say it's a book. Even I heard now that I don't know. I think it was Netherlands or something that they are now having issues because they give students assignments. They will go and just plug it into AI, and almost everybody is having the same piece of content because they collected all their answers from AI. So there would always be some sort of limit. AI may not be able to fully encapsulate the neurons that are firing in our heads when it has to do with creating content. I don't think it can fully encapsulate or fully grasp it. So it can try as much as it can, but you still need humans to write originally from their thoughts and their perspectives. That's what I can say on that.
Okay, that's cool. Really cool. That's my thoughts. So I just can't imagine, for example, I want to build a sales funnel for a client and I just leave the entire work to AI to do and I deliver just like that. Yeah. All right. So that brings me to this. Writing a book is one thing and selling the book is another thing. Many authors out there have written books, but no one has bought. I remember one time you wrote your very first book, you literally had to talk to people in church to buy, and people were like, no, Papa's book doesn't sell for this price. So why would you, just you, Emeka Nobis, want to sell that? I've heard people say that it's important to only talk about your book or market it or even sell it after it's been created. But what has worked for me in my field has been sell from the moment I catch an idea of a course or whatever I want to create. We're creating an offer for his travels. We start talking about it long before run campaigns. For example, I have a campaign I want to run this week For an offer we have not even priced, we don't have all of the details yet. So that works for me perfectly well. But how does it work for an author?
Okay, so I'm trying to really articulate my thoughts here on this particular question, but then I don't know. Can you possibly rephrase it in a way that I'm trying to
Okay,
find?
all right. Many
Yeah.
people expect that the product or their book has to be published ready before they
Now,
begin
so okay, yeah, I get
marketing.
it. So the thing is this: for me, some individuals it may work for them, or for me, as I usually tell you, I tell myself that I'm not a big person. Big person also in terms of deep pockets. So you may decide not to. You may not decide not to make noise about what it is that you're authoring until the book eventually comes out. It's your choice. Maybe when the
Okay.
book comes out, you have a sizable chunk of publicity and marketing um, money to be able to put it in the hands of many individuals. Do you get?
Yeah.
So it's all on you if you have that big budget. But me, I don't. So right from the time that the idea gets into my head, I don't defire. I mean, I'm firing on all angles, and I start telling individuals about what I'm writing, when the book will come out, and I take them on a journey of anticipation. All right, telling them the things that I'm working on, telling them the how the book is going and all that stuff, and that helps to create anticipation, make people keep waiting up
Mhm.
until the time that the book comes out. So I would not say that if you keep quiet till the book comes out is absolutely wrong. Even though my students, I tell them not don't do that. Start making the noise right from the time that you started writing the book. But then, if you find out that you've got good money, for example, let's say for example maybe the person is a senator in the
Yeah.
Nigerian Senate, and he now decides to write a book. He may decide not to talk until the book now comes out. Boom. They will hire a center, invite the president, invite other senators, invite.
Yeah.
If you carry 1 billion, they go house that day, or maybe 500 million naira. You get made all the
Yeah.
money, you know. But then I don't have such structure around me, so I have to keep talking, marketing, and making noise up until the time the book comes out. So it all depends on you and
Okay.
the assets and resources that are available to you. That's what I can share on that.
Okay. So basically, pre-marketing or pre-launch marketing doesn't hurt in any way if you
No, it
would like
doesn't.
to do it.
It doesn't.
All right.
It doesn't.
Yeah, so late last year, we were working on retiring some of our marketing structures in our web consulting business and creating new lead magnets. So
Okay.
I tasked one of my staff to work on a book, but what he provided wasn't quite suiting for me. So that Sunday, I sat down in about 8 hours, produced a book. For a moment, I felt like Emeka Nobis, truth be told, when I finished. And we're discussing the next day, reviewing. I had thought I spent the entire weekend doing it. But in that book, I spent an ample amount of time talking about the power of pre-marketing, whetting the appetite of the audience and creating a lot of buzz on social media, via email,
Yes.
building a lead generation funnel, and even using a tripwire offer to recoup your marketing costs right from the day they get into your funnel. Do you
Yes.
encourage that also?
Yes, I do. I do. I
Okay.
absolutely encourage that. I do. Absolutely. I
Okay.
mean, if you enter into my funnel, man, at least I'm presenting two offers before you leave the funnel. You get
Awesome.
simple funnel on WhatsApp, or not the one that the landing page own. If you don't buy, you
Okay.
click and no, simple offer. Using funnels. I mean, using a WhatsApp funnel that gets I
Okay.
present two offers before you. So it's absolutely, I believe in it, absolutely acceptable.
Okay. I'm not really a WhatsApp for a person, maybe because my audience for the services I render, apart from the travels, are in Nigeria, so they rarely use WhatsApp. In fact, I've had clients I'll tell, let's jump on WhatsApp in case you miss my email. Like WhatsApp, I don't do WhatsApp. Somehow, some of their executive assistants have had to, the virtual assistant have had to install WhatsApp just to talk to me sometimes. So how does WhatsApp marketing works when it comes to book marketing? How does WhatsApp
And
automation and all that
it's
work for you?
it's absolutely beautiful. So for those who are here, I don't know, maybe if you want to test out and see how I do my marketing on WhatsApp, you can go to
Okay.
emekanobis.com/connect. emekanobis.com/connect, and you have a feel of how I do my marketing on WhatsApp. So there are three key ways you can do your marketing on WhatsApp. Number one is your WhatsApp status. Okay, your WhatsApp
Okay.
status. So you can, the same way that you're posting on Facebook, you can post on your WhatsApp status. All right. As people are your friends on your WhatsApp, the only thing is that for Facebook, somebody doesn't need to be your friend to read. But on WhatsApp, the person must have your contacts to be able to have access to your status. So, the more individuals who are reading your status, the more likelihood that you can make a sale. So that's the first thing. The second one is broadcasts, which is where my own, I also use broadcast a lot. So, for example, people buy my books, and then I ask them for their WhatsApp number, and then I put them into broadcast lists. Okay,
Okay.
let's say for example, and because you can get money from someone over and over again. Some individuals who bought my books many years ago are still buying some of other products of mine. So they bought my book. If somebody was able to spend 5,000 naira to buy my book, that means if I'm selling something at 1K or 2K or 3K or 5K, they can likely buy. And so
Absolutely.
for every one of them that bought my book at the time, I put them into different broadcast lists. And then I can reach out to them. Some of them have, I mean, even up until now, you know, they still buy my products. Okay. So broadcast is one very powerful way that you can send message. And when it has to do with broadcast, there are also strategies to it. So if you want to send a broadcast, you can't just go and lump one long content like that, and then once somebody opens it, I beg. But me, sometimes I trigger. I can go to the broadcast link and I write, how you did. I'm sending that broadcast to more than 250 people. But I'll not write how you did. You find out that people will
Response.
always respond and say, "Oh, I did fine," not knowing that it's even a broadcast. I can
Yeah.
say to the individual, "Oh, good morning, no," and the individual. So an individual will think that I am talking.
To him as an
The person
individual.
will talking to him as an individual. Do you get?
Yeah.
So and then they'll respond, and then when they now respond, I will now fire another broadcast with another sentence again. I will now say, "Oh, did you even know that over the weekend I was thinking about this and how to help you, and I thought about this particular idea. This idea makes," and the individual will think that I'm talking to him, but not knowing that I'm talking to more than other 100 people on the. So that's how I do my broadcast. I like to make it short and conversational so that people can click and read what it is that I'm offering without thinking that I'm sending them a long broadcast
Yeah.
like that. And then the final one is the automation one that I told you. So if you go to emekanobis.com slash connect, you test a bit of my automation. So sometimes when I want to sell certain things, instead of me to go straight up to the landing page to sell off to them, I bring them into WhatsApp. When they click that link and it brings them into my message, into my WhatsApp, then they'll start to have short messages dropping for them automatically without me being there. And then
Okay.
they'll read, and then they can eventually take action on a particular product and buy. So that's how we make money on WhatsApp.
Okay. Absolutely incredible. Okay. I'm learning this part now. I'm the one learning. Like, okay, but for someone like me who hasn't been using WhatsApp automation, I've not been using WhatsApp for marketing, if I decide to begin WhatsApp marketing right now, and one day I wake up and say, okay, Emeka Nobis says, sometimes she sends how you be. When I send that and people respond, what happens? Assuming I have like 6,000 people I sent that message to, I pushed that message to, and 30% of them, nearly 2,000 persons, responded. How do you handle that?
So the thing for me is that any day that I'm going to do something like that, it means that I need to spend time to respond. If not, you have wasted the essence of that marketing. So some of those, I don't do it all the time. I don't do it all the time. Do you get? I don't do it all the time. So I do it sometimes. Spend the day that I will say, okay, I will take out this time. I will spend time today to be able to respond to people. So those are the only days that I send such things, because it can be very overwhelming. I mean, imagine reading, as you said, 30% of those individuals or more. Your brain will feel boss, man. So I do it on days that I know that I don't have any other job doing, and that I can have time to talk to people, one on one. So that's it basically on that.
Okay, cool. But you used to do email marketing. Do you still use email marketing and Facebook chatbots?
Man, Facebook chatbots, they have Facebook chatbots are, I don't know, it looks like they have lost their frenzy, so to say, because a lot of people are using it, John OBD, many of them.
Yeah.
But it looks like even me, they blocked me. So at some point, I don't know whether people are reporting me that I was spamming them or something. So they blocked me. So I can't even use any chat tool anymore. I can't even use ManyChat or Chatfuel, whichever.
Wow.
They blocked me, but it was fun. It was awesome. And regarding to emails, I realized that, using these companies, I went from MailChimp to SendLane to
Sendlane, I
Aweber
remember this.
to the one. It's been, I don't know, delivery rate. Sometimes your emails are going to your to spam and all that. Even when I was using paid ones. Even when I was using Aweber, even when I was using SendLane, it was basically
Sendlane was pretty expensive and should have
yeah.
done the job.
SendLane started out at $15, which was making sense at the time. Everybody was just jumping into SendLane. And one thing good with SendLane at the time was that our subject, they didn't care about the subject
line.
Yeah, so because they said that it was an email software designed for marketers.
For
I was happy.
marketers,
Before you knew it, from $15 to 20. From 20, within a period of 1 year, these guys have done almost 3 times. At some point, with the list I had, I think I was being charged $60 or so, or $80. I can't remember. That was when I knew that, man, guy, I needed to move. And the painful part about SendLane, the painful part was that if you are owing them, you can't even have access to download
your list.
That was the very funny, nasty thing that I didn't like. So because I couldn't do that, what I did was just painfully paid for 1 month subscription and then downloaded all my emails, and then after that I moved on. So right now I'm not marketing. I've not been marketing via emails. So I'm thinking my web developer. There's one somebody told me right now, connected to AWS or something like that.
Okay,
So
I've
told him
Sandy.co.
Sandy. Yeah, Sandy.
We just finished our
They say it's
installation
connected to
last week and had our limits raised yesterday.
How is it?
It's cool. Have
So because they
automation
said that,
in the sense. You said what?
yeah, they said that.
Yeah, it doesn't have automations just like get response, click, send lane, and care by Infusionsoft. It doesn't have all of those automations, but if you can think around it, you can pretty much get what you want out of it. And the cost very low. It send about 10,000 emails for $1 a month.
Oh well.
Yeah.
I hope.
It's really cool. It's cool. Okay, yeah, SendLane was a pain in the neck. I used them around 2015, 2016 and had to run away from them. Okay, so an author publishing in Nigeria, would you recommend they add email marketing to their marketing stack?
Absolutely. Anything that helps you to sell, by all means, do. Anything. Emails, WhatsApp, Instagram, whichever. Offline, radio, use everything in your arsenal to be able to market, basically.
Okay. So for someone who's just starting out right now, doesn't know anyone, not considered an authority in their sphere of play, right? They don't have an audience. They don't have the marketing dollars to do paid advertising. But they want to publish a book sometime in June, and within the first 2 weeks of launch, sell at least 500 copies. As the king of marketing and the Don himself, what would you recommend as a plan or a pathway to achieving that, saying that they have about 5 months to go?
But to tell you the absolute truth, it can only be a miracle because you don't have audience, you don't have money to market, you don't have money to do publicity, PR. How would you, except you get onto the streets now and be going to people's houses door to door? Maybe that could be another way to be able to do 500 copies. Start going around, people's houses and doing door to door. But if you want to do anything that will involve meeting people, basically, even if you want to do a town hall meeting, you may be asked to pay for that town hall that you use, isn't it? So I don't know how possible you'll be able to do 500 copies. Number one, you don't have an audience. Number two, you don't have what's it called? You don't have an audience. You don't have the money to do publicity and PR. It will be tough. Trust me, it will be tough. I would only advise that individual, spend time now to go and be building your audience gradually. If not, I don't know. Without money, if you don't have audience, your money can would I say stand in for you or to speak for you or something. Like there are individuals who may not have audience, but the moment their books come out, they will spend a lot of money to be able to do publicity for that particular book. If you don't have, I don't know how else to help really.
Okay, so back in 2017, when I was launching the second or third edition of my web consulting course, I did reach out to you and about 62 other persons to help promote my book in return for, my course in return for a commission. At that time, I was just recovering from my sister's death, where I didn't work for about 4 to 5 months after her demise. And I had a limited time from when I gave myself to launch the course. You obliged, and a couple of other persons obliged, and that generated some millions of naira for me, even before I'll spend a dime on market paid advertising. So would you recommend affiliate marketing?
Absolutely. That's what I'm telling you.
An author that has this influencers and people who have the right audience for them?
Yes. Anything that helps you to be able to market, by all means. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
There?
Yes, Ehis, can you hear me?
Okay, are you still here?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Would you recommend affiliate marketing, participation in groups, and influencer marketing by barter, I call it, where you could offer a free service, something of value to the influencer who has the audience in return for promoting your book or for a commission or something?
Yes, that's what I'm telling you. For any strategy at all that can help you market, by all means do. I also recommend affiliate marketing. So if you have people who can affiliate your book, for example, now Valentine is coming. Do you get? Valentine is coming, and I'm also going to utilize affiliate marketers to be able to sell. Basically, I even do my affiliate marketing at 50-50. And people for buy digital products, and people market and make money for themselves. So anything, as I said, that can help you market just by all means, fire down.
Perfect. Really awesome. I remember the last time we met was January of last year, while you guys were departing for Abraka.
Okay.
We had a few moments, and we had a very short time to speak, and we did talk about a lot of things. And one of the things you said that caught my attention, because I love money a lot, I'm a money lover. You said within the last few days of the previous year, 2021, you had a campaign that had generated something in excess of 2 million naira. I can't remember the specific value.
2.2 million.
Yeah. I was amazed, like, from books. Cool. So if there's someone in here that wants to achieve the same thing in 1 month, January of 2025, which is about 2 years from now, and there was something or some things he or she needed to do to be able to attain this in a 2-year period to make it his income from sales of books or training by January 2025, what would be the top 3 things this person would likely have to do to stand a chance of hitting that?
Okay, one thing I would like, well, 2 things. I don't know if I can make it up to 3 things. Well, okay, 3 things. Number 1 is grow your personal brand into someone that people can trust and love and like. Most of those payments, most of those things that happen, those sales that happened were because people trusted me and loved my brand. That's what I can tell you. Number 1, grow your brand into a brand that people love and will be willing to buy into. Secondly, is grow your audience. Do you get grow your audience?
Yeah.
You have to grow it because who will you sell to? Most of these individuals who are buying from me at the time were part of individuals that have already grown on my Facebook, on my WhatsApp, on my Instagram. So grow your audience. It's very critically important. And then thirdly, which is final, create products that really solve people's problems and that they were willing to buy. For example, let me share with you some of the books that I'm writing for my birthday. One of them is my training that I called Audience Money: How to Grow a Social Media Audience That Gives You Money. I'm converting it into a written book.
Okay.
It's a need. It's a need at the same time is a want. Number 2 is how to grow rich from trainings. So all the trainings, how to conduct trainings I've been conducting, how I've been doing it, strategies I've been using, will all go into that book. All right. That book is the one that I'm writing together with Nnamdi called Strategy of Tours, where you can use use tours as a strategy to expose your brand, make your brand known, make your brand loved, and then you can make money. So you see, each of these books, which are products, are solving unique, specific problems for people. So those are the 3 things I can advise you: build your personal brand, grow your audience, and create products that are critically or solving people's problems. That's what I can advise.
Man, you are truly, truly, truly amazing. They don't call you the Don for nothing. You are inspiring. I can't remember exactly how or where we first connected on Facebook, but I'm sure it's Facebook. I suspect it's the Sell Your Brain Society. I suspect so. But the very first content I read from you that stuck with me and still rings in my head today was the one you wrote in 2015 about the internet real estate. At the time, we had just launched our online gift shop that's defunct now. I saw the content. I had to send it to the guy who was in charge of our social media, post it there, post on our blog, and make sure to credit Nobis. So today, if you were going to talk about internet real estate to someone who knows nothing about building a business, leveraging the internet, what would it be? What would be your content if you were to write something like that right now?
Okay. Well, I will still do the things that I've done regarding that particular concept, so to say. All right. It's all been about the building, the growth, the consistency, the focus, the creation of the messages, and you keep building. You keep building gradually. It's not. These things that we do is not an overnight. It's not an overnight success, bro. It's something that has been with you being just consistent, building. It takes a whole lot of work. Like every day, I'm doing 7 to 8 pieces of content, sometimes up to 10 pieces of content. It's not child's play. So yesterday I joined that new app and I'm posting there now. I'm posting on LinkedIn. I'm posting on Facebook. And it's just what it boils down to. Consistency in your offerings, in doing your work, in exposing yourself, exposing your brand, showcasing your, all the great things that you're doing. That's what I can advise, really. I don't know any other gimmick or any other strategy to override these things, but that's what I can offer.
Cool. By the way, I've sent you a request on that new app. I sent that this morning, so I wait on acceptance. Okay. Yeah. Back in 2016, 2017, someone did make a post on the Sell Your Brain Society back then. I think it was Ronald Zimmerman
Yeah,
or
Zimora.
something that ran that group. He was a fellow web guy, and that was the time people could no longer afford to pay for their hosting services, domain, who our economy had just set in at the time. So carelessly, I just shared with him about 15 nuggets I was using to stay ahead at a time when people could no longer afford to pay for their domain hosting around here. I had a change market and was still able to bank thousands of dollars per month. So I just thought, okay, these are things that people should already know. I dropped it in the comments. Surprisingly, people started writing me inbox, dropping comments. They were blown away. And then I felt, okay, this could be really different, more sophisticated than I thought. I turned it into an audiobook, How to Become an Authority in Your Niche. While creating that audiobook, something came to my mind. People don't really need to, you don't really need to be an expert to be perceived as one.
Yes.
Yeah. So does that also apply? Because most people who hired me in those days had not even seen the work I did. It was pretty much about what I shared on social media, the stories I told, the screenshots I shared, and then if I delivered one person's own successfully, another one came. So the question is, does this also work for an author? If an author had 1 year period to take an authority position as an author, what are the likely things the person needed to do apart from writing? What are the kind of things the person should write about to be perceived as an author or an expert in that area of play, as far as
It's,
content is
bas-
concerned?
it's basically creating content specifically tailored to that particular message. For
Okay.
example, people are beginning to perceive me as you said, it's a perception game. People are beginning to perceive me as someone who's good in marketing because they see me consistently write content that has to do with marketing. So the more that I do it, the more that I keep showing up and doing it, they begin to perceive me as that expert. That's all. I mean, they don't even need to see you. They don't even need to. They go there to read. As they're reading, they're shaping their thoughts about you, their belief systems about you, and that's how they believe everything that you're doing and want to give you jobs or deal with you without necessarily wanting to go and sniff you out physically to know if you're actually true or if you actually So it's
I
just
remember
how
you
it
did
is.
send me a prospect sometime in 2016, 2017. And then I
Oh,
told my
okay.
friends, Nobis has never seen a work I did. Yet he sent me someone, told the person, I trust him, he's going to deliver. And the only thing I could think of was, okay, could it be the content I wrote about my work? Possibly, because we had never seen any work I did. We had not spoken. I think we had only seen once. That was March 12, 2016 at Olu Obasanjo during a training you facilitated with Omen Adania and
Yeah.
Wisdom to Words. Yeah, I think that was the
Okay.
first
Yes.
time we'd
Yes.
meet in person. Yeah. So I was wondering, just my content, and then he sent someone my way. So he perceives me as an authority as far as web consulting and design, mobile apps thing is concerned. So yeah. So for someone who's listening right now, just keep showing up every single day. Keep singing aloud what you do. Like Emeka Nobis calls it, market shamelessly.
Yes. So
And soon enough, people will see you as an expert, a go-to person for what you do. So earlier on, we talked about the impact of book title on uh, the sellability of the book, how much attention the book gets out there. But does color and cover design or the book design play a role in this also?
yes, it does. It does. It does. I mean, if you don't do colors correctly, it can pass off. Let's say, for example, you're writing a book that has to do um, with bosses and with CEOs. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to start thinking of using black. You want to do a book that has to do with food and agriculture. Think about green. You know, you want to do something that has to do with love. They talk about blue and red. Do you get
Mm-hmm.
so? The design and the title, as I said before, These are two critical concepts when it has to do with shaping perception for your book. If you miss it, you may mess up a whole lot of things along the way. So I always advise individuals, don't mess up your chances because of poor design. Spend some good amount of money to do good design. Work with an expert who understands book designs, and you'll be better for it.
Amazing. Okay, so if you were to say one of these is most important, from title to color to the design of the pages, the design of the cover, which would you pass as the most important?
I would say design. Trust me. I would say. I mean, I think that design and the title must go hand in hand. This is me.
Okay.
Basically, design and title go. I mean, design has to be beautiful, and the title has to be something that somebody will really want to read. So, I don't think I can divorce the two of them. Two of them must go hand in hand. This is me, basically.
Awesome. Really awesome. It's been a nice time with you. Quite frankly, yesterday I was wondering if I could even stay on this screen for 30 minutes. My team told me, you talk a lot, Nobis talks a lot. You will end up exceeding an hour. This is past 1 hour. I really, really want to appreciate you for doing this with me. I know you're a busy person. You've got a lot of things in your hands. But I'd quickly like to ask this. I think sometime late last year, I enrolled into one of your programs, ebook money program or something. I really wanted to see how you do your stuff, how you think all of these together.
Yeah.
But I was only able to attend the first section, which was mind blowing. It was really, really enlightening. And I know you've got a lot of work where we've talked about your 15 books, but if you were to recommend one or two of your materials right now to someone who is eager to get started, to get on the journey of becoming an accomplished author, which of these books of yours or courses would you recommend right now? Like one or two?
I would recommend your book will sell. It's better the person reads your book will sell, and Bank a Lot. These two books, your book will sell, Bank a Lot. Your book will sell. We help the individual to understand how to actually write the book, the marketing, and then Bank a Lot will give you ideas regarding where, what kind of knowledge you need to package in form of a book. Because a lot of individuals, okay, to write a book, but some will say, okay, what? But you find out that Bank a Lot, I'm seeing Bank a Lot.
Okay, sorry about that.
You find out that in Bank a Lot, we explore different things that have to do with knowledge and experiences that people can package in form of written books, basically.
Oh, awesome. So if someone listening right now wanted to get any of this book, where or how would they do that?
Okay, right now, your book will sell has run out of we have run out of copies in Lagos with my publisher. So I have just the copies here with me in the city of Port Harcourt. But Bank a Lot is easily accessible still on my publisher's timeline, which is warrital.com/bankalot. warrital.com/bankalot. But for your book we sell, you have to reach out to me personally, so that after payment we can send the book to you to anywhere that you are. If you are not in Nigeria, the easiest way to get it will be on Amazon. So the two of them on Amazon, you can easily get the two of them on Amazon.
Okay, amazing, amazing. So if you're watching us right now or you're watching the replay, please get yourself a copy of one of this book if you really want to become an accomplished author, and I can guarantee you, you will not regret it. So we're going into question and answer time. We'll take a few questions. So if you have questions, please put them in the comment section of this stream. And Nobis will take it. I think we have just one question for now. I'm going to take that question. Okay, two questions. All right, Mr. Nobis, I'll read the first question. Sir, do books sell in Nigeria? What strategies can you utilize to make mad sales. I have an ebook I'm writing. I will soon publish it by weekend. Okay, I think he has answered this question in the course of the section, but he just might want to throw in a little more light.
I will just basically, because there's so
All
many
right, but before you go
strategies.
in, please confirm that this URL on the screen is correct for Banker Lab.
Yes, it's correct. It's correct.
Okay, perfect.
There's so many strategies that you can utilize to be able to sell your book. And I usually tell individuals it's best to get a copy of your book we sell, you know, so that I don't keep repeating myself over and over and over and over again, you know, because the book is amazing. The book, many people have bought it, and a lot of individuals are getting mad results from, you know, by utilizing what they are seeing, getting in the book. So I think it would be nice for this particular individual to go get a copy of it for himself, and it will be amazing. Trust me. Awesome. And even I'm even reworking the book, because some of the things that I learned, from 2020 that I'm still going to be putting in the book, you know. So yeah.
Okay, so I guess that answers it. He has all of these strategies you want to know, you are eager to know right now, all compounded in that book, your book will sell. So if you really want to launch your book and be successful at it, please get yourself a copy. You could also reach out, if someone wanted to reach out to you, because we can't have the two links on the screen, how would they reach out to you?
Okay, they can reach out to me via WhatsApp. All right, they can reach out to me via WhatsApp. Okay. Plus 234 902 515
234. Please could you go over that again?
Plus 234 902 15. No, plus 234 9025 153322. Plus 234 9025 153322. That's my WhatsApp, so they can easily get across.
All right. So if you intend to reach out to him via WhatsApp, here's his number on the screen. All right. So I'll take the next question. I have some books I'm writing. Okay. Well, basically for kids in nursery and primary classes, which I intend to publish in hard copies and sell to schools. How do I market if converted to ebooks? Okay, I guess this person is considering that since she'll be writing books that will sell to children in primary and nursery schools, definitely these people do not stay on social media. They don't spend time on social media like adults do. And she's wondering, apart from selling to schools, if she intends to sell this book in digital copies to these children online, how would she go about it?
I mean, for children, ebooks will not work for now. I think that ebooks will not work. So it's best to print the books. To market to kids, at best, I'm thinking that you have to print the books. Do you get? So because it's easy, kids will like to hold the book and read the book and scratch inside the book and all that. Do you get? So it's important to print the books. That's what I can. Don't do ebooks. It may not really
work out. Okay, I think his network or mine is frozen. I don't know whose network is frozen, but one person's network is frozen.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Yeah, for kids, it's best to even go through schools and PTAs and all that, you know, to be able to reach out to the real target audience. Because if you are marketing if you want to do it online, basically you are going to be talking to the parents, which is also a great way. So you are going to be talking about how the books benefit the parents while their kids are reading them. So that's what makes because even as that, your target audience is not even the kids. It's even the parents who buy the books for the kids, not the kids buying the books for themselves. Yeah. So you have to be able to reach out to places where you can meet the parents, schools, PTAs, churches, and then online too. So you keep marketing the book online, parents can buy and for their kids, basically. But I would advise you, don't do ebooks.
But I think some children do use digital devices, and flip books might work. Just my thinking. I've
I
never
know,
really been
but
an
for
author.
now,
Okay.
no, I understand, but it's not. Go and check it now. Do the statistics and check. Even my kids, they don't read, they don't use tablets or phones for now. And check the statistics of those who are doing all that. They don't play it.
Okay.
So I'm saying in terms of you doing good marketing and good marketing,
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. That means you don't want to spend so much reaching out to just a few.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Awesome. Let me see what the next question is. The knowledge industry in Nigeria needs refurbishment. Wow, I don't know what that means. It is very difficult to get Nigerians to read books, especially hard copies. What strategies should be put in place?
So I think I've answered this before.
Yeah.
And I'm saying you have to be quite highly seductive when it has to do with your marketing, highly seductive when it has to do with your writing. And as I said, you are going to write something that somebody will find joy reading. So it has to stay. It's not that Nigerians don't read. The only thing is that what are they actually interested in reading? That's the truth. Like, for example, somebody will say that I write books and I am what's it called? I'm joke. I joke, and I tell the person yes, because I have found out that many people like fun, so I infuse fun and jokes and comedy stuff into my content. All right, that's what makes people to connect to me. Do you get? That's what
I
makes
agree
people to
100%.
connect to me. So on my timeline, you see me do funny stuff. I will do funny stuff today. I will do serious stuff another day, just like that. Because I don't want people to see me as one person that is stiff. I want them to see me as a human being that they can relate to. So I have a way of mixing, and you see them, staying put on my timeline. So that's what I can advise. Don't just go all and be so serious. Infuse. Then you ask yourself, can you in a way lace it with can you in any way lace it, with religious stuff? Because many Nigerians, okay, who are reading the books of those who are that the GOs. Do you get? No, that the GOs, they write devotionals and all that. So who reads them? It's still Nigerians that buy them. So if you can list your offering with some religious undertones or innuendos, man, as they say, you can get Nigerians buying. Do you get? Like my book now is prophetic. My book is prophetic. Your book will sell. So I use religion to catch them.
Amazing. Oh, wow. Okay, I think that's the last question we have here. Again, I want to say a big thank you for agreeing to do this with me. The very first time I wrote to you about it, I appreciate you big time, bro. Thank you. And to everyone watching this, I hope you enjoyed it. You got some value, incredible value. So if there's something you got, please drop a comment there. And if you still have more questions, please connect with Emeka Nobis' brand. He's on Facebook, he's on Instagram, and he's on the new app he wrote about that I joined today. Owa Social. So please connect with him. His website address is emekanobis.com. I hope I'm correct.
Yes, emekanobis.com.
So you can connect with him using emekanobis.com/connect. No. Yeah. Okay, you can use that to connect with him at any time. All right, and you learn a whole lot more from him. His Facebook timeline is an encyclopedia on marketing. You are definitely going to get so much value from him. I think this brings us to the end of this show. But if one thing I would like to share with you before we leave is next week, same time on Tuesday, I'll be hosting another guy, Oyime Udotai. in a session where he'll be sharing with us how you can turn pretty much any hobby of yours into an income generating system. To join us in that section, please go to ehisnath.com to sign up for free, and I'll be glad to host you again. Thank you everyone for joining. I'll see you this time, about the same time next week, Tuesday, 4 p.m. actually, online. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you, bro. Bye.
Thank you so much, bro. Thank you so much.